All right, we're going to get some people in here and then we'll get started in about 60 seconds. Okay, we got a few more people coming in. Great, great, great. What a crowd. I love it. Thank you guys for being here. I have cameras and all these angles and these lights on, and I just realized that my gray hair is popping off the screen right now. Getting old is weird. Um, here's what we're going to get started. It's exactly 12 o'clock. We have a lot to cover. I'm going to let people in as we go. What I'd like to do is I'm going to go through some basic frameworks that I know, when consistently followed, are very profitable for real estate agents. And then we're going to talk about an extra thing that you can do that can really elevate your business to an entirely different level, and it doesn't cost very much money to do. On top of that, all right, there's another thing that I've been learning about, and you guys have experienced it already, that I want to just gauge if there's any interest, if anybody wants to learn about that. So we have a lot of ground to cover, I guess is the point here over the next. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to click people in here while we're doing this over the next 60 minutes. And I want to honor that. I appreciate y'all being here. I know you get a lot of my emails. Thank you for continuing to read them. Thank you for the great feedback that you give me. My heart is in this to just help other agents do really well. There's a lot of noise out there, and I am a victim of it. I go and buy the latest thing. I get all this other stuff. None of it matters if you're not doing the base systems and the base strategies that you need to do to establish yourself as a really amazing agent. Real estate agents, when we get into this business, whether you know it or not, you probably do know it, is that you basically go into something called You Inc. It's You Incorporated, right? It's your business. And so today I just talked about this. I'm gonna do a little bit of perspective talk, sorry, on the slides. And then we'll talk about the hows and then the little bonus section. All right. But when you get into this business, you go into You Incorporated, and every business, every soul, like, professional practitioner, which is what you are, you establish what your standards are for how you want the public to perceive you, how you want them to like, know, and trust you, and how you want, and sometimes it's the type of people that you want to do business with. In the beginning, you don't really get to call those shots. And sometimes when the markets get a little funky, you don't get to call those shots either. But by and large, when you're purposeful and intentional about who you are and what you stand for and what you present and how you behave and how you learn and are professional, then that will start to attract the clients that you like to be with. And some of the perspectives that I like to talk about, at least here on the team, and I think are really helpful for just about anybody in any kind of business, not just real estate, is the perspective that you need to have, when the perspective that you need to have, period. And that is keeping the client first. All right. Everything that you do should be so that the client knows that you are keeping their best interest at heart, that you're doing everything you can to make things easier for them. There's three things. You make things easier for them, you demonstrate value. They want value, but that doesn't always mean cheaper, right? They want to know that you know what you're worth and what they're getting for their money. Okay. And then the third thing is respect. Those very three simple things that clients and consumers, it's what they want. Now, when a customer or when a client, I'm sorry, guys, let me just give me a second here. When a client or a consumer enters the marketplace, think about what they're going through. If you've bought or sold a home, you know this. Selling a home, by the way, is like one of the most tragic experiences anybody could go through. I don't know about tragic, but it's hard, right? It's pretty stressful. The But you think about what they've gone through. They're saving their money. They're trying to accumulate all this information. There's so much uncertainty out there right now. And a consumer or a client, like when and they're afraid to ask questions and they're not sure which questions to ask and they're not sure whom to trust. They got Google, they got ChatGPT, and now there's like 15 different AIs you can ask. Like, and there's all kinds of news. There's just a very unsettling information that is very inconsistent all over the place, right? So with uncertainty, you could say that you know, uns people that have a lot of uncertainty, they're scared, right? And not only are they scared, they're fearful, they're scared, and to an extent, but you might even call it, there's a little bit of suffering involved, right? And so the reason I'm bringing this up, I'm not trying to make this sound gloomy, but as we go through what the system that I'm about to roll out to you is, it's not complicated. Is that it's your obligation as a real estate practitioner, as a real estate agent. It's not only to learn the market, know the process and all that stuff, but it's up to you to reach out to people that you know to save them from this suffering and this pain that they're in this uncertain era, this very stressful part of their life that they're in when you know how to help them. Now, and we'll talk about this here in a second, but if you get into talking to your people, your sphere or your sphere of influence or your database or whatever, everyone calls it something different. I just call it my phone, right? But when you get into that system, you will start to call people that you haven't called in a long time, and you will hear people say things like, "I'm so glad you called. Man, I was just thinking about you. I was just thinking about calling you." It's because they have these questions in their mind about the real estate market because they need to do something that's scary, that has a lot of moving pieces, involves their treasure chest of all their money, all their emotions, right? And they don't know what questions to ask, and they're a little bit embarrassed or they don't know how to bring it up, all right? That's not everybody, but that's a lot of them. And when you grease the skids for them, when you talk to them on a pretty regular basis and you interact with them and you demonstrate your skills and your professionalism, then you make things easier for them. And what's one of the three things that customers and clients want? They want things made easier, right? They want respect and they want to know value. So I'm going to walk you through this system. And then Leslie, my partner, is going to walk you through this event that we love to do that is a great way for agents to really boost your money. Okay, great. Also, if you have any questions, we're probably going to run out of time. All right. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat and we'll get to them. If you've got to hop off at one, I saved some time after one and we have some questions, you want to have some conversations, I'll stick around and help out as long as we need to. All right. I blocked off my calendar, but I told you guys this would be 60 minutes. So I just want to make sure I'm honoring that. Does that sound good? Thumbs up. That would be great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. Thanks. I am a marketer, which by the way, real estate agents, you should all be marketers. So I'm going to take a selfie with y'all. Thank you. I recommend you do the same. It's fun to talk about the stuff that you're doing to learn for clients. And we're going to talk about posts in a minute. In fact, everybody should take a selfie of themselves learning from somebody that's outside of your normal wheelhouse, a new voice, new system. It's not a new system. You're about to find that out. But you're going to learn the importance of it. But it's important for people to see that you're practicing your craft and you're working on your skills all the time. All right. So here's the deal. I've been a real estate agent for 27 years. All right. And about 5 years ago, I decided to turn this into a business or build a framework where agents can come in, loan officers could come in, and if they executed and we executed, everybody would make a lot of money. Right. So it was a big shift. But by and large, I am a real estate agent. I know what it's like to be a real estate agent. We are the weirdest bunch of people on the planet. All right. We love to do whatever we feel like and expect people to call us. We expect things to happen for us because we put on our badge in our Facebook that we are a real estate agent, right? And we make a couple of posts every time a year. It's not a system. Hope is not a strategy. It's not a system. There's 20,000 real estate agents in Austin. And you're going to see here in Austin that in this current environment, we are still experiencing lower sales and we're at the bottom of a long cycle. where there's 20, I think there's 16,500 real estate agents. So it's a very competitive market. There's only 33,000 homes are selling, which is actually 66,000 sides, by the way, which is plenty. Okay. Just so you know. But if you look at the cycle, this tells me, I don't know about you guys, but if you look from like 2006 to 2013, it looks very similar, like we're halfway through the same thing. What do you guys think? I know you can't talk, but it's probably a yes or no or similar, right? I mean, this is like we're in this for another couple of years. And this is the kind of market where the agent that does the most activities and increases their skill set along the way is going to win. And if you're out there practicing your craft every single day with purpose and intention, and we're going to give you the two systems that you can do right now that don't cost any money to make, I would be surprised if you didn't make $250,000 if you did this at a high level every day for a year. Okay. But if you come out of this and when the market ramps up, not only are you going to get your 250, you're going to get a multiple because you've done such a good job of marketing and demonstrating leadership and product knowledge and professionalism and commitment to serving your clients at a higher level than anybody else in your area, in your farm, in your peer group, in your collaborative sphere, not spear, that it will exponentially grow your business. But you have to put in the work first. You have to put in the work first. And trust me, I've seen this. There's people that have been on here, been in this business for a long time on here. Uh, Gary would agree that if you do this work now, the rewards that you're going to get when the market does get a little bit more velocity to it, it will blow you away how much money you're going to make. Okay. But let's get back to this. So you've got to move away from random effort because random effort means random income. All right. But your goal is that you want a six-figure income or multiple six-figure income, or you want a seven-figure income, but you're trying to figure out what's the right cadence and what's the right system to get into this. Right now, everybody knows that skills and activities are the things that drive your business. In the beginning, or when things are hard, you cannot do enough activities. All right. If you just do regular activities, you're going to get regular results. Period. We saw that with Indiana coming out of nowhere and winning the national championship, going undefeated. They were the worst team on the planet for a decade, 2 decades, right? But they got a new coach in there and said, we're changing our mindset, we're changing our activities, and we're going to commit to win. And they put in some hard work for 24 months, and they got it. They beat the best teams in the country week in and week out. Right now, that's an outlier. I'm not asking everybody here to be a national champion, but if you want to make more than average regular money, you have to do more than average regular activities. And you have to be purposeful about the time you spend on developing your skills. Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. Okay. So let's do some math. This is easy math. One of the big activities that I like to do, and this is you got to understand when I started this, like I was 20 years old. I mean, the only people I knew, I had 27 people on a list of paper, uh, you know, look like this that like they were my college uh, friends' parents, right? So I couldn't call them and say I did, but I couldn't call them and say, "Hey, let's do some business together," right? It was like, who do you know that I might be able to help out? And I had to start helping with some rentals and some investment properties and things like that. So then what I decided to start doing to build up my business was open houses. We'll talk about that in a minute. Um, but you got to, but the point of that is I was very purposeful about my activities, right? I put together my database. And you guys, you don't have to have this massive CRM that has all these complexities to it. Complications, I think that's the word, complications. That has all these complications to them that are really difficult to figure out. You don't have to do that. You can literally do this in a Google spreadsheet. So if I were you, or if I were new in the business, I would write down my top 100 people. If I had 300, I'd narrow it down to 100. If I had 50, I'd do everything I could to get 100 people on my list. If you can think about people that are in your flight path, your life flight path, like you live somewhere, your office is somewhere, there's probably things in between that you frequent a lot, people that you see, people that you know, people that you interact with and do business with, just anybody, you get their name, their phone number, their email address, and their mailing address. Those 4 bits that's key. You've got to get 4 bits. So you people in your your email, obviously their name, their email, their phone number, and their mailing address, because you're going to use all four pieces of those things. All right. And a database that's got 100 people in it, if you do a good job of marketing to your database, and I'm going to make this simple for you. That's what the whole point of this is. You can get around a 15% opportunity rate out of it. It means about 15 out of the 100 people will want to do some kind of business with you or refer somebody who's going to do business with you inside of 12 months. I've seen this number as high as 30%, and then obviously it gets as low as zero based on your activities. 15% is a really good number if you are mindful and intentional about it. And I'm going to give you the map here in a second for that. Now, you can probably guess that the key to this is the consistency in the activities. Every day you have to do something. Now, this is built around a 5-day work week. And I think when things are hard and it takes longer for deals to happen, and I think when you have time in your life and everyone has this season in their life, 5 days a week, it's not enough. You have the opportunity to grow your business into a 7-figure business, because I know this because I've done it. Okay. And you have the opportunity to help a lot of people to master your craft, and you've got to rise above the noise. And people stand out. Everybody in this market knows who all the people that stand out are, and they get their unfair share of business. This is an opportunity for you. A lot of people are giving up and throwing in the towel. A lot of people are getting part-time jobs. I don't know how somebody with a part-time job could walk into somebody else's house and say, I'm the right person for this job of selling your home. But by the way, I'm not available from 9 to 5, right? A lot of people are giving up. And there's an opportunity for agents that stay committed to this to do very, very well for a very long time, but you have to get through this part first. Think about a rocket ship. To get out of the atmosphere, starships the size of this, I mean, they go through like 85 or 90% of their fuel just to get out of the atmosphere. But once they hit the upper atmosphere or space or whatever it's called, they don't have to burn as much fuel anymore, right? It's the same thing in real estate. When you're going through these troubling times, if you've been in it for 3 years or 5 years or 4 years or whatever, and it's just like, man, what is going on? You have got to burn through the fuel to get out. I mean, and there's no other way around it, unless you happen to know all the billionaires in Austin and they want to do all their business with you. I have a feeling though, yeah, that would be amazing. Okay. So let's talk about what it is. So you've got 15,000. So just so you know, just right now in Austin, the average commission on a house, I like to use 10,000 because I think it's coming back a little bit. That's probably a little bit low, but if you do 15 times 10,000, 150 grand. It's not that complicated. It's actually not that complicated. The complicated part for a lot of agents is getting up and doing the work every single day, tracking your numbers, trusting the system. Okay. But that's just 15 opportunities. Just 15. That's it. Okay. So here's the setup. I'm gonna go into the how part of it. This is the boring part, but this is the stuff that everybody wants to know. What do you do? What is the formula for this? And I'm going to give you the formula that will predict the 6 to 12%, and then we're going to add something on that will plus it. Okay. Now, if you had, just take a picture and I can send this to you also. The next few slides, I'm going to break each one down. Get 100 contacts, find 100 people. You've done business with them, you know them. They're people you want to know because they're influencers and connectors. They refer a lot of business. You'll get to a point in your business where probably like 80% of your business will come from like 10% of the people you know. They do a lot of builders, investors, transactions. They move a lot. They can connect you to a lot of referral sources. There's some people out there that will move the needle for you once you demonstrate to them that you're committed, you're successful, you know what you're talking about, and you're a professional. You keep clients first. Clients want what? They want three things. They want things made easier, not harder, easier. Okay. By the way, not harder means quit giving me excuses for why we can't talk right now. I mean, you can get really granular on that stuff. Make things easier for them. Show them respect, be respectful, be on time, don't be sloppy. Give them good information. Don't say I know to every question they ask. That means that you've got to know things, right? You've got to get out in the field and learn the market. You've got to preview houses and talk about them confidently. And they want value, but value doesn't mean lower. In fact, we have some clients pay more because we do more for them and we can explain it. We can demonstrate it for them. Okay. Then you're going to break it down into 4 weeks. So if you've got 100 people and your goal now until the end of your life is to talk to your top 100 people every single month. Okay. So you're going to break it down into 4 weeks because there's 4 weeks in a month, roughly. And then there's 5 work days in a week. All right. So if you 100 divided by 4, that means you've got to reach out to 25 people a week. 25 divided by 5 days a week is 5 people a day. Can you talk to 5 people a day? It takes an hour. It takes 1 hour. And then there's a cadence for what you're going to talk to them about. And there's a cadence on how you're going to do it. And I'll show you. And it's actually fun. Guys, it's fun. These are people that you know. And you're not always going to call them and say, we have a whole script book around this. You're not going to say, hey, who do you know? You're going to call and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I wanted to follow up on the thing. Hey, I just sent out an email on protect your house during crazy winter storms. Did you get it? Right. This is a great time to be talking to your sphere, by the way. You know what I thought, Leslie, just real quick, is it would be really awesome if we had some branded water faucet cover things and we could just deliver those to people. I mean, that cannot be that expensive. Let's investigate that. Sorry, a little internal conversation there. Um, so the next thing is the cadence. Like, how do you do this? What do you talk about? It's pretty easy. 5 personal connections a day. So there's let me make sure I've got it in here. All right. I don't. I'm gonna. Here's the breakdown, and I'll send this to you. Here's the breakdown. So when you do a reach out, I think it's really good to chum the waters first with an email of the month that has some valuable information in it. Okay. Then you can use that to go back and then you can call people and you can say, hey, did you get the thing? I sent the thing. Did you get the thing about the thing? Right? What did you think of it? Was it good information? And some things that you can email are general market reports for zip codes. You can do it by neighborhood. You can do statistics are really popular. People love statistics. You can do general statistics. You can do your opinion on mortgage rates. There's so many. You can plug it into Gemini, and it'll give you 100 things to talk about if you want. Um, the I don't know. I have this watch. It keeps beeping. I don't know how to make it stop. Um, The or you can do a deal of the week. And if you're on my distribution list, you've seen this. It's a really simple formula. The guy that helped start one of the EXP or LPT or whatever, he sent it out. It's this really simple formula, but it shows people that you are in the real estate business and you're looking for deals, you have deals, and you're trying to, get people to reach out. I get every time I send that email out, I get at least 10 leads just from a simple email that takes me like 3 minutes to put together. Okay. So you send out an email and then you're going to call them. And in today's day and age, do many people answer their phones? No, they don't. So then you get to leave a voicemail. Do you read your voicemails? I do. Right. And then you not only do that, but then you send them a video text. Hey, Maria, it's Clay Byrne. I see that I just saw you on Facebook and you did this amazing thing. And I just wanted to say congratulations. That's it. So you have a video text. By the way, video text has something like a 35 or a 40% higher response rate. It's authentic, it's real, they see your face. I have a big nose, so I have to like put it up here instead of down here. Just pay attention to those things. Um, but you get a really good response rate. And then what are you doing? You're branding yourself. You're staying top of mind. You're competing against the other 5 or 6 real estate agents that all your people know. You're staying top of mind. And then this, with the other things I'm going to show you in a minute, um, I just remembered something. It will like business will flow to you. I've seen it happen many times. All right. So then you leave a message and then go on their social medias and send them a direct message, DM, direct message. Okay. And you're going to do this for every person once a month. Every person once a month. They're not going to know they're on a rotation. Okay. They're just going to think you're thinking about them and you're doing a good job. And then they're going to say, you know what? Jeannie does a great job. I want you to, I think that you should talk to her, since you're selling her house. They're going to talk about you. Look, she sent this amazing email. I got these. She stays, she's working. She sends me statistics. She must be really good. She must be really busy. She's probably the right person for you to talk to. Okay. We good so far? Okay. So the next piece of this, so you've got your 100 people. Okay. And your 100 people now, that is what I would consider your audience. That's your avatar for people that you want to do business with. That's the audience. Those are the people that you need to be marketing to all the time. What they don't tell you in real estate school or do a very good job of is that not only as a professional real estate agent are you on call all the time, you have to be professional, you have to know what you're talking about. You're also a marketer. All right. You have to be marketing your brand. And your brand is you. It is not your logo. It is you. People have a relationship with your face. They do not have a relationship with something that somebody on Upwork in Bangladesh put together for you. You are you. You are your brand. So you have to be out busy and talking about it all the time. All the time. 3 days a week. You can use Facebook, you can use Instagram, you can do LinkedIn. Make sure everybody that's on your 100 list or 200 or whatever is a friend on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Make sure you're friends because you're going to be traveling in that space, commenting on their stuff all the time, and they're going to see you, and the algorithm will reward you when you do that, when you are consistent with your activities. Does that make sense? Build your audience, go plug in your audience. And then you're going to do 3 posts a day. It sounds like a lot. It takes about 3 minutes. All right. We're not doing big edited productions. I don't know if you've seen me on Facebook. I mean, I'm like sweaty at the gym this morning, and I have an idea and I'm like, hey, agents need to be thinking about this. You can plug it in. But for agents, you can say, hey, in this zip code, this is what's going on. Dump the statistics into uh, ChatGPT or Gemini and say, give me like 15 posts that I can talk about for real estate for the next 3 weeks as it relates to what's going on here. And it will come up with stuff for you. It does not, you don't have to win the Nobel Peace Prize with these posts, guys. You just have to put stuff out there. You don't need to worry about hashtags. You don't need to do about any of that stuff. You just need your friends to see it. You need your audience to see that you provide value. You try to make things easier, not harder on people, and you're respectful. Okay. They're in a relationship with you. This is your brand. It comes from your heart. So you have to be personal too. You've got to tell personal stories. Leslie is at the end of the day, she's uploading a reel about how her day went. She handles a lot of stuff, so her days are interesting, right? It's engaging. And you might only see 1 or 2 people. This happened to me. I get like 5 people maybe like my stuff. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I see your stuff everywhere. I went to Las Vegas this weekend. I came back. And I posted about the wind because I like the way it smells when I walk in there, right? And I posted about that on Instagram. None of my friends in my community said anything about it on Instagram, but when I went to football practice, I heard about it the whole time. Oh, you were in Vegas. Oh, what did you do? Like, oh, I'm telling you, people are paying attention, but you don't know that. But you don't know who it is. You know they're paying attention. You don't know who it is. And then do something that's a win. Comment on their stuff. Red looks good on you. Something. Congratulations. I'm sorry about your dog. Oh, see, you got a cat. We got to get in a car. Oh, your son, your daughter, things like that. Good job. Just go in there and say congrats. Okay. And what you're doing is that you're churning the water constantly. You're staying ahead of all your competition with these people that already know 5 or 6 other real estate agents. So you are the one that's providing the value. You're the one that's staying top of mind. And you do this, well, you're 100 people, you do this at a high level consistently for 365, really for the rest of your life. 15 out of those people will do business with you this year or in the next 12 months, maybe more. Because as you get your momentum going, you're going to get some really good stuff, and your product, your knowledge, and your demonstration of your skills and your calendar are going to fill up. That's how it works. But you have to do it every single day. Okay. By the way, the theme here is you have to do it. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything before we move into that part. So let me just check my notes real quick. As yeah, I think we're good. I want to talk about so the there's two kind of events that you need to be thinking about now as you're moving forward and you're talking to people. It's a really good idea to get face to face with the people in your database. I think the best way to do it is to go have coffee with them or get a group of them that are like-minded, similar demographic, and go do something fun or engaging with a group of them at a time. Get some kind of cadence to being with and around them as much as you can. You do not always have to talk about real estate. They want to see you being a person too. Okay. You got to be a person. You have to be likable, not a machine. The other event, and this is one that you can do every week, is I think special and it will grow, it will double your business faster than anything else. But we got to have a conversation about what U Inc. standards should be first. Okay. There's a line of thought around just being in real estate that once you get your license, and I know this because I interview a lot of people, that people just walk through the door and you get to go show them some houses and sell them a house. I've had agents I was training fall asleep in the back seat when I was helping them, like teaching them how to show houses because it was too hard. Right. That was a long time ago. I don't do that anymore. Right. But not a lot of people understand what goes into being a successful real estate person, being a successful small business owner. And I think once you understand what a buyer or a seller, what their psychology is, it should help you with some of your standards that you're willing to tolerate. Personal accountability in this is the only thing that will move the needle for you. I don't care how many coachings, how much Tony Robbins, how much podcast and book reading and church going and any other stuff that you do to right your mind and your heart. If you're not accountable to yourself about your activities and your skills and how hard you're trying, it's not going to matter. You have got to put in the effort. I cannot stress this enough. The personal accountability around your activities and your skill building, like nobody's going to do it better or worse than you. Okay. In fact, I would even just venture to say, like, if you're not willing to be held personally, if you don't have any personal accountability without having to be asked about it, you're probably an uncoachable person, right? And you're probably fine with an average and normal life, which is great. But an average and normal person is not who buyers and sellers deserve to have in their corner. They deserve, and they know it, they deserve to have the very best. So they interview and they ask you a lot of questions because it's up to you to defend who you are, what your standards are. Okay. For instance, a buyer will save up, let's say they saved up $20,000 and they want to go buy their first house. All right. So they're walking in and and they probably just got married, right? And they're probably excited about starting a family. Let's just pick on first-time home buyers for this. Okay. So they've got their whole world bundled up into this little heart of theirs, right? And this little bank account. And they're going around interviewing agents. Do you think they want to hire somebody that's part-time or is kind of good, kind of knows, sort of knows what's going on, is sort of engaged, has a lot of complexities to getting in touch with them. They don't answer their phone, or do they want to hire a professional, right? If they're lucky enough to come across one of each one, who gets the business 99.9% of the time? The professional. I don't know why any agent out there would leave anything to chance. It's not that hard to care, and it's not that hard to demonstrate that you do care. I use I don't know what you call it. I used like a story this morning in our team meeting. I was like, if you're gonna buy an engagement ring, are you gonna go buy it in like a dark corner, weird kind of store, or are you gonna go in where you can see the big vault in the middle of it and the lights are on and it's clean and nice, and the glass is clean and everything's glittery and nice and all that stuff? Like, where are you gonna spend your money? you'll probably spend more money at the glittery place because it feels better and it feels right than you would on the corner, dark store that's got a ring for sale too. It's a weird analogy, but I think you understand what I'm saying, right? The more you present yourself, and in this world, we're lucky enough now, I finally see this with social media, we're lucky enough where we get to demonstrate everything that we do, everything that you do, how good you are and how much you care and what problems you solve for people. You get to talk about it for free all the time, and you get to hit the people in your database all the time. It's magic. Social media greases the skids for all of your conversations. You're going to want to get in conversations about, we talked about this morning too, like what problem did you solve that we can talk about? And you go and you put that online and you go put it on your blog and your website. Or if you don't have one of those, don't worry about it. Just go put it in LinkedIn and go put it in Meta and Facebook. Take the time to learn how to do that. It's not complicated. But now you've solved problems and people see that you're a problem solver and you know what you're talking about. You know the market better than anybody else. Okay. Am I getting preachy? I do that sometimes. Um, So this is okay. So this is going to roll into the events that you can do every week that will double your business. This is actually the fun stuff. This is what I did for decades. I made 100 grand out of one of these one time. I built a business based on these experiences, and I'm calling them experiences and events. I'm not calling them open houses because there's a stigma that agents have around them. You've been doing them wrong. That's why there's a stigma. Just this last 2 weekends ago, we had one agent got 7 leads, and I'm talking names, phone numbers, and emails. We had one agent get 8 leads. We had one agent get 9 leads, 7, 8, 9. One agent got a $2 million buyer out of it. Okay. Open houses. What's great about open houses, because of all the uncertainty in the world, honey and honey are getting in a car and they're driving around trying to figure out where they want to live and get a feel for things. They're also, by the way, buyers and sellers are interviewing you for the job of representing them every single time they walk in a door. So I challenge you guys in these open houses, and we're not going to have enough time to talk deeply about this. So I'll make you a little offer here at the end of this. And you're going to hear Leslie here in a second. Um, the with the open houses, I'm going to challenge you to, like, if you follow a system, and we have a 6 day system that we're about to show you on how to do it so that it stands out above everybody else's. Guys, we audit open houses all the time. We know what's really good and we know what's embarrassing. Why are you even wasting your time? Right? I'm not talking about just on my team. I'm talking everybody. I love to know what people are doing in open houses because that's where the people are. That is the marketplace right now. A lead comes in online. Well, you and like 8 other agents got that same lead. Right? In an open house, man, it's you and them. You are locked in on them. And if you do it right, they are locked in on you. And you've got somebody who wants to buy or sell something now. And I don't know about you, but now business is my favorite kind of business. I love getting paid quickly. I imagine you do too. So I'm going to let Leslie, she's going to step in here and talk to you about what our level 10 open house system is. I would say every time that an agent shortcuts this, they don't get the results that they want. They don't get the results for all the time that they're putting into it. I would challenge you guys to do this verbatim. And it turns it into, like, this is your pride. This is what you Inc. stand for. This is how you present to the world. This is how you take care of houses. This is the kind of information you're going to go learn for somebody at a snap of a thumb, right? This is how you do business. And people, as they see that, because they're comparing you to the other guy down the street who, like, the house still has dog hair everywhere and a couple of lights are on. None of the light bulbs are the same color. It's dark. There's leaves everywhere. There's a couple signs out. Nobody really knew it was coming, right? There's a big difference. So, Leslie, do you mind? I'm going to flip these for you, and you just walk people through the Monday through Thursday and then the follow-up day. Do you mind with that?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect. Feel
Okay.
good? Thumbs up. She is my partner. She's dynamic, amazing, amazing woman. Started in the trenches as an ISA 6 years ago, which is a hard job, and worked her way all the way up quickly. She's just a dynamite stud. So I'm excited for you guys to meet her.
I'm a stud. That's fabulous. Okay, so first and foremost, if you guys have something to take notes on, I would do so. I I started with clay 6 years ago, and doing open houses. This was a completely different system than anything I had ever seen before. And it has worked time after time after time. And so I know I talk to agents, I coach agents all day long that hate talking to people on the phone all day. They don't like, all of these different things. And the open house system that Clay created, I don't even know how long ago, hits every single area of your business. So if you're incorporating the sphere piece of this that he was just talking to you about and just doing this open house system, you're doing more than probably 90% of agents and will gain the market share in these neighborhoods. So I think one of the first things that we tell our agents is don't bounce around. That's probably the best piece of advice that people don't tell you in the beginning. Don't bounce from South Austin to Round Rock to Cedar Park. Pick somewhere. Stay there for 30 days, for 90 days, right? Monday, you're picking your open house. That day and time needs to be done in preparation on Monday for a weekend open house, because you've got work all week long that needs to be done to prepare for that open house. So on Monday, you're locking in your 3 hour window. You're notifying, if you have an admin, you're notifying your admin of that so they can go ahead and get it in the MLS, get it syndicated. And then do a social teaser on here. It's Instagram. Looking for details later this week, just to kind of prime the pump that this is coming. Be on the lookout for it. And then mental prep. Commit to the week's schedule, to the activities. I have this conversation with agents all the time. They end up waiting to schedule open houses because of buyers that they have or listings that they have going on, and they're afraid that those people are going to want to do something later in the week. You are a professional. You run your calendar. Put it on your calendar and commit to the schedule that you have. Everything else will fall into the white space around the things that you have scheduled. So your open house needs to be scheduled on Monday. You need to start the preparation for it then. And I'm going to trust you to change the slides when it's time. Okay, Tuesday is the day where you're pulling all of the information on the property. So you need an MLS sheet, you need the survey, you need documents. If it's your listing, you're going to have personal information around that property. If it's not, all of that information needs to come from the listing agent. They're obviously MLS sheet, property survey documents, but any relevant information, you need to have a conversation with the listing agent about special things that are maybe not on the MLS or out there for the world to see. Those things would include like neighborhood activities that go on, HOA special events, trails that are running throughout, things like that, right? And then your lead gen prepping, expireds, all of the expireds in that neighborhood, you need to be up to date on that every single week, right? You're planning yourself in this neighborhood. So those expireds, you're going to want to know who they are, so that you're able to start getting packets together for them on you being the expert in the neighborhood and being an expert at getting homes sold the second time when they didn't sell the first time, right? Tuesday is also when you're going to start incorporating dialogue practice. So the first dialogue practice that we get into is open house door knocking. So that's an invitation, and that invitation, what that's going to look like is going to the door and saying, "Hey, I'm holding an open house at 123 ABC Street. I'd love for you to come out, talk to us about the market, see the competition that's out there, and also give them a quick market update while you're there. If you are lucky enough, blessed enough to get somebody face to face, just, hey, thank you for opening the door. Just a quick update on what's going on. These are the actives pending sold in the area. This is your average days on market and average price point in your neighborhood. I'll see you on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it, right? Quick market update for them, because next week when you go back around to visit them, you're going to give them another one, giving them updates on what's happening, right?
And that's great because if you cause something to happen, then you get to tell, like, you're the underground information provider for the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You become the local expert. And then Wednesday is probably my favorite day. It is a high activity day. So on Wednesday, you are out at the property gathering content. Plan B if they don't answer the door. Can I answer this? I know we said we were going to do questions at the end, but this is like my favorite question. So I actually have this in front of me. This is what goes at the door. So carry something with you that you can do a handwritten note on, and you're writing the exact same thing down. I'm holding 123 ABC Street, open on Saturday from 1 to 4. Would love to see you there. Quick update on what's going on in your neighborhood. 6 actives, 2 pendings, 1 sold, average days on market, average price point. See you on Saturday, Lesley. Right? Quick, easy, but it's handwritten. It's not a flyer, right? It's not just something that you printed out and is going to end up on their street. Okay, so Wednesday is heavy activity day. You are out getting video content of the property and of the comparables in the neighborhood. You want to know everything that's going on in that neighborhood. So it can be homes that are really similar to that one, or it can just be homes in the neighborhood. That way, whenever people come into your open house and they say, oh, I thought this was a 4-bedroom, we need a 4-bedroom, you quickly and easily can say, actually, I was just in a 4-bedroom down the street. I get out of here at 4. I can meet you over there at 4:15, right? You're going to know each of the other homes that are in the neighborhood and what's going to fit the needs of the people that are walking in. Makes you a neighborhood expert, right? You're mapping out where your signs are going to go because you're already in the neighborhood. So go ahead and take note of where those need to be so you know how many there are. Preferably, guys, you're doing 20 signs. You're not chinchy with the signs. You're putting them out all over the place. You're doubling up in areas where you can so that they're getting maximum exposure. Film your sneak peek while you're out there, preview the neighborhood homes, and then you're coming back. You're either editing that video or just doing raw footage. It doesn't really matter. Email an invite to your entire CRM. Your entire database needs to be invited. On our team, it's a minimum of 250 people that you're sending an invite to. It does not matter where your sphere lives. If they live in California or Oklahoma or whatever, invite them out. It reminds them what you do, right? And this is kind of where the compound effect starts to happen. You've got them on call rotation once a month or once every quarter. You're sending them weekly emails around open houses that you're doing. You're sending them weekly emails on deal of the week, right? They start to see it without you being salesy and putting a lot of pressure on them all of the time, right? They're just seeing your activity. You're going to go ahead and print your door knocking flyers out as well. So that, like with our team, and I would suggest with you too, you've got a QR code on there that they can scan. They can get their home value, things like that, right? Just keeps you in better communication with them. And then you're practicing your open house questions. So we have 7 main questions that we want asked at to every person at an open house.
And I'll post those so that you can have them.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't put them here. Yep.
Yep. As far as the new sign law goes, that's a great question. Ask for permission. You need to be knocking on their doors and talking to the people anyway. So while you're there, ask for permission to put signs in the yard. It's that simple. Thursday, ground war, daily checklist. So you're door knocking on Thursday, you're inviting at least 50 of the surrounding neighbors. Usually, what I tell our agents is try to hit at least 3 streets at a bare minimum, right? You want to be face to face with as many people as you can. And then at that point, you're also visiting the expireds and withdrawns. So if you can get face to face with those expireds, you want to take your shot at doing that. Getting the at bats is what counts, right?
Yeah.
Try. If you don't get them the first time, you've left them a handwritten note. Next week, whenever you're back, you're going to hit them again, right? And the objective is to show the neighborhood that you are the hardest working agent in that area. I had a agent in here yesterday that said that she was looking at the expireds in the neighborhood, and she was like, I don't know what's going on because they keep listing with the same people over and over and over again. And I was like, well, if you would have been out there knocking on their door, leaving them a handwritten note, letting them know that they have other options before they actually expire, the likelihood that they sign with that same agent is going to diminish
Yeah, or
greatly.
at least you would have had a chance to interview for the job of
Right,
selling the house. Yeah.
right,
You got to give
exactly.
yourself a chance, guys. If nobody knows you're an agent, how are they going to call you?
Why would they call you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, logistics and polish. So on Friday, you are marketing, you're posting reels, you're making sure that you're tagging whatever group you're with, if you're with one. The more people that you tag in it, the farther your reach goes. Make sure that you do your map review, double check where your signs are going to be placed. Oh, I think I freeze?
You're frozen, but
I
you're still
am.
talking.
Okay. Well, I'll keep going then. And then make sure that you have a kit together. What Clay, this is for, yeah. What Clay was talking about earlier is please don't take pictures of that.
You look like Han Solo.
What Clay was talking about earlier, as far as the shoes being in the corner and making sure that the house is cleaned up, that is not the owner's responsibility. It is
Right.
your responsibility.
Yeah.
One of the best tips that Clay ever gave me was to take a leaf blower with me, because he would blow out the inside of the houses. And that has, like, people that have dog hair, like, that is a fantastic trick. You open up the doors and you use the blower inside. But make sure that you've got like a rubber mallet with you, Clorox wipes, toilet paper, paper towels, and something to sweep and knock those leaves out. Super important.
Yeah.
And
Remember,
then,
sellers are interviewing you too. They want to see what you do, what lengths you will go to get their home sold also. You guys
yes,
crush open houses. You crush the feeling people have when they come up to the house. They may not like the house, but they like the work that you did. And they
right.
want workers. Yeah. Welcome back.
Mhm. Absolutely. Thank you. So tomorrow, the next day is game day, right? So you want to make sure that you get plenty of rest and you've got everything all squared away and you're not just showing up on Saturday at 12:30 and hoping for the best, right? Um, Level 10 execution, all your signs are out by 9 a.m. You're not putting your signs out an hour before. You want all of that traffic in the morning to know that you're holding an open house later in the afternoon. 20 directional signs. We have a flag or an A-frame that go up in front of the house. And then QR codes, we put ours in the kitchen. The primary bathroom tends to be the place where most people will actually scan the QR code. So just little tip for you guys there. And then make sure that you've got your 7 questions with you. How long have you been searching? Who's guiding you? Do you have to sell to buy? And then you're going to send out the rest of them to
Yeah.
everybody,
I'll send
right?
them. I'll
Okay.
send them the stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Um, Great. And then follow up. This is where the money is, right? So, video text as soon as you leave, as soon as the open house is over, before you even leave the house, make sure that you are emailing a summary of the open house to the listing agent if it's not your listing. And make sure that you are sending a quick video text to everyone that attended, everyone. And it's just really quick. Hey, thanks for coming in today. It was great to meet you. I actually have a couple other properties I'd love to share with you. When's a good time for us to sit down for 10 or 15 minutes, right? Or does Tuesday or Thursday work for you? Make sure that you're adding all of that into your CRM and setting all of those people up on market reports. You now have direct knowledge of where they're looking for a property, right? So use what you have, set them up on market reports, make sure that continued communication, valuable continued communication is happening. And then call them with value. Off market info, other neighborhood comps, all of those things. You want to continue to stay in conversation with them.
You've also, if you use another agent's house as your open house prop, now you can turn around and say, look, I did these 20 something things to get ready for this open house, and this is the feedback I got. Give this to your seller, right? Show this to your client. So now you have very actionable intelligence, feedback, right? That the sellers desperately, probably right now, desperately need when there's 12,500 homes for sale and a 6 month supply of homes on the market, right? So it's not only do you win as an agent, you win for buyers, you win for sellers, you win for the listing agent if it's not your listing. If it is your listing, now guys, you have something where you can turn around and say, hey, listen, if you want me to do level 10 open houses in your house, I charge a little extra for those. I charge 3.25% for that. But
Mhm.
that's level 10, and here's why. You now have something when I said value, okay? You don't have to charge more if you don't want to. When I said they want value, they want to see what are they getting for their money. Okay. You can charge whatever you want for it. How's that? I think that's what I'm allowed to say. But now you've got something where you can say, look, I'm going to do all these things and the Zillow and the pictures and I care and all these other things everybody does, but then I really blow it out in these open houses. Everybody in the neighborhood is going to be talking about your house. Probably the buyer for a house knows somebody in this neighborhood, and that's probably what draws them in here, right? So now you've got a compelling reason for people to sign the listing agreement with you because you've just demonstrated value and you've made it make sense.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. Open houses are the most beautiful, overlooked, overthought, whatever thing that you can do. If man, like if I were to move to a new market, I would have my 100 people. I would say refer people to me, and I'm just going to go crush open houses, and I'm going to take over these three neighborhoods in 3 months. And that's how I would
Yep.
do it. I wouldn't spend any money on anything else.
Yep.
And nobody will be able to touch you because nobody's willing to do this kind of work to get it done. By the way, we don't require agents to do this. In fact, we know when they don't do all the steps because nobody shows up. If you do all the steps, 7 people will show up and give you their name, their phone number, their email address, their mailing address. They'll tell you that they want to spend $800,000, but they could spend $2 million. 8 people will show up to do the same thing. 9 people will show up. In fact, we had 54 people show up in the last 30 days. That includes Christmas break. Okay. I only have a small group of agents. Buyers and sellers are out there in mass right now. They want to do something. They're tired of sitting on their hands for the last 3 years. Interest rates are the interest rates.
Yep.
It's a golden opportunity for people. Bob, first question you ask they've after they've been there for a minute, are you neighbors or shopping? That's a great question. I like to ask who's guiding you through the process. See if I can get them to acknowledge, if they know what's going on or if they're, going to throw the I have an agent. Don't say who's your or do you have an agent? Everyone's going to say yes, right? Find other ways to get information. Open up, be a human.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, open houses, you crush these things every
Hmm.
weekend. You're probably only going to work 45 weeks this year, do 45 open houses. If you don't have that much going on, go do an abbreviated version during the week. People are out there, buyers and sellers are out there, and they need to see you. You have some suffering to end for them because you're so educated and good at what you do. You can solve the problems. But they don't know it. They don't know that it's you until you tell them.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you get to decide what is your standard. You have to stand for something. All right. I mean, that's just, you just have to stand for something. You have to figure out what are your standards. What are you going to tolerate? Are you going to tolerate being average and mediocre? That's fine. If you're ready for more, which you're perfectly capable of, you've got to raise your standard. You've got to hold yourself accountable to some of these activities. You want to crush
Mhm.
it? You want to make $250,000 the next 12, 18 months? These two systems that we just demonstrated to you, you can tie them together, right? They overlap, they support each other. Um, so we have two options. It's 12:59. If you've got to go, I get it. If you want to stick around for a minute, I'm happy to answer questions or have conversations. Oh, I see you there. Hang on a second. Thank you, Ms. Gage. The uh, I've been learning. So as you're posting stuff, it's very informational, and as you're making your phone calls and you're doing your emails, it's very informational. Okay. If you've gotten any kind of emails from a mortgage broker, it's probably like reading an encyclopedia, right? Like all this information, all these excuses, all this stuff. The it's not curiosity based, it's not engaging. I've just spent the last 12 months and thousands of dollars learning about copywriting and how to bring it to an agent's life without it being this complicated thing. The deal of the week is an example of one of them. It inspires curiosity and is sent and posted for engagement. There's webinars you can do. I don't know, like this one, right? That inspire curiosity and get people to engage and learn. It's educational based. But there are things you can do, like the teaser that we talked about on Mondays for the open houses for the Instagram posts that you do. If you do that on a very regular basis, then you're going to start to be a marketer that draws people from the top of your funnel closer to your services, closer to hiring you by having them being curious and engaging with you. Okay. And if you want to, there's a lot more to it. If you want to know more about it, just send me an email or let me know. It's going to take me about 4 or 5 weeks to kind of put this together. That's an easy to understand and executable action system for you. But it will teach you how to be more like it'll give you more leads, but not just more leads. It will move leads through your funnel faster so that they're ready to hire you faster than if you were just kind of meeting them out in the middle of Main Street. Does that make sense? It's
Mhm.
yeah. So if you're interested, let me know. I'm excited about it. We're integrating that into a lot of our marketing right now. We're already seeing results. So I'm happy to share it with you if you want. We have some questions here. Tested the use of asking them to sign paper sign in or tablet. People were far more of it fill out a form in ink than on tablet. Yeah. I think we're both digital or paper sign ins.
Yep, we are both. So whatever is going to work for you and you're going to keep doing, that's the system that you implement there.
Yeah. And that's the same like with your tech stack and CRMs and all this other stuff. Use the one that you're going to use.
Yep. We
I'm
have
a paper
agents
guy.
like blink on their phone, and just the second that somebody asks a question, they're like, hey, scan my card information, and they get to trade information, and that way they can send the survey over, send the seller's disclosure over to them that way. And then we've got other people that just rely on QR codes.
Yeah, and I think QR codes I think are fun. I've seen some of the people I talked to, their team. I mean, one of the guys, Justin Haver from Calgary, of all places, they sold like 1,300 homes last year. They wear t-shirts with the QR codes on the back. So the people can zap them while they and not make eye contact, but they want to be
Mhm.
communicated with. Like there's people are funky, right? So you just got to put stuff everywhere, make things easier, not harder for them to get a hold of you. That there's a theme there, right? Make things easier. Put them everywhere. I'm gonna. I was in China last summer, and I thought this salesperson where I was had a little lanyard around their neck with their face, their name, and their QR code. And she just said, "Call me anytime. I'll help you with this digital." I bought a digital camera over there to save on tariffs, right? And she's like, just you can, here's my QR code. You can communicate with me anytime. And I was like, man, that is such a great thing to do. Here, just, and we'll talk anytime, right? It's so hands off. It's so not pushy. And you can watch them do it, right? So there's some accountability right there. It's awesome. I think, I think QR codes are great. Some people I've seen them, they have their QR codes on their lock screen. So you can just kind of hand it around wherever they go. But you've got to be promoting yourself. You have to make yourself easy to get a hold of.
Mhm.
Y'all understand that? You have to make things easy. People have to be able to get a hold of you easily. They have to be able to see your professionalism, your activities, your knowledge. They have to have easy access to that. Otherwise, it's just average. Yeah. Cool. That's just us. There are, so awesome. I'd love for you to briefly go over the open house dialogue. Julia, thank you. Thank you. Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you. I'd love for you to, what on the open house dialogue, what are you, can we take you off mute? Are you still here? She popped off.
I am. I'm sorry, I had my
Oh,
my mute button on.
that's okay. What do you have any like, where would you like to start on that?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of an intuitive, very grounded person, so I just greet people friendly, but I don't really have a dialogue. I went to some other folks' open houses, and I listened to them kind of they were pursuing certain goals in their conversation, and so I'm more just kind of going with the flow of the person I'm talking to. And so I was curious about your idea of having a dialogue and what topics you go over there.
Leslie, you want this or me? Either's fine.
We I think being intuitive is important, right? You're going to have different personality types come in there. But your agenda at the end of the day is to get contact information, right? You want name, phone number, email, address, if you can get that. Um, Having some way to contact the people that come into your open house is the most important part of being there. So if you're not doing that right now, that's where I would start with that being your agenda. And then two is getting into motivation and what it is that they're looking for. So LP Mama is great for that.
What is
I
LP Mama?
That is a script. So are we sending these scripts out? Is that what
Sure.
you're
Yeah,
is
I
that
can
what you're
100% do that, but maybe just for the
Okay,
rest of us.
so
Yeah.
LP Mama is figuring out the location, the motivation. Actually, you know what? Um, Sydney is on here and she was using it this morning. It's location, your price point, your motivation, your where am I at? Location, price, motivation, um, setting the appointment, um, whether or not they've talked to a lender, so mortgage, um, timing. Yes, that's super important. Um, so we can send that out, but that's one of the first things that we teach our agents because it's just quick, easy to remember. Um, so making sure that you have contact information and then figuring out where they're at in the process, right? Do they have a location nailed down? Um, do they know what their price point is? Have they already spoken to a lender? Um, I
And
Depending
who is
on how
helping
busy
them
you're
with their buying needs or selling needs?
Say that one more time. Oh, if they're, yeah, agent. So I kind of cut that A out of there a while back ago. But yes, Andy, thank you. I mean, Troy. Yes, it's the agent question. So instead of asking somebody whether or not they have an agent, trying to navigate through that because they're going to do the same thing that you do whenever you walk into Nordstrom's, right? No, I don't need any help. I don't need any help. And you'll come up with any excuse possible to not have somebody follow you around. So I would try to navigate that in a different way. If you feel compelled to ask, the question is, who's helping you navigate this process, right?
Yeah.
Not do you have an agent? It's who, so that it's not just a yes or no answer.
There's a whole so what's funny is like there's a lot of like you can call them like language frameworks or dialogue frameworks or scripts or whatever, but it's basically it's a series of questions, and this might answer your question too, Lindsay. It's a series of questions that helps you funnel down your qualifying buyers and sellers to see when and if the right time is to go meet with them. And so the goal is if you come across like an unrepresented customer, which a lot of them are, right? Everyone's all hot and bothered about signing touring agreements for some reason, right? The most of them are unrepresented, and so it's because nobody has stopped and said who's guiding you through the process. So it sounds like we need to sit down for 20 or 30 minutes and let me explain to you how things work in Austin.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not, but like, I understand. I'm just going to give you information. We'll talk a little bit. It sounds to me like someone needs to just help you understand what's going on. Oh, and by the way, if we sat down and I was able to demonstrate to you, some ways that I know people can save money, right? Would that be of value to you? Find something, right, that's important to them by talking to them. And you're just trying to get them to have another appointment, like to have that next step with you. You're not trying to get them to sign a buyer rep agreement right then and there. Quit trying to do stuff like that. You're educating, you're processing, you're getting them through. It's a funnel. It's not a waterfall. You're not trying to get married as soon as you meet somebody. You're dating them, right? So you're just guiding them along. Now, when they say a clue or say something like, well, okay, it sounds great. Where do we start? Don't talk past the target. Get it in writing and go, right? But you have to be paying attention. So you learn these questions, LP mama, and then how to get them just to start talking to you. And you know how you get them to start talking to is you do a better job of the preparation of putting the content out. I mean, this conversation that you're having, this chance meeting that you're having somebody in the living room started a week ago.
Yep.
Okay. It didn't just accidentally, a miracle of God happened. You started preparing for this a week ago. They saw your stuff, they saw your something, they felt it, they saw the signs, they had a good experience coming up the sidewalk. You met them at the door and you shook their hand, said, welcome, come on in. Right? They had a good experience from you all the way through. So of course, naturally, they're going to be like, all right, so far, so good. This person, Lindsay's checking my boxes. I want to know more about what she's got to say.
Hey, Clay, I just wanted to clarify my question if you don't mind.
But that's a common question that I answer, but absolutely. Yeah, if I didn't answer it right, let me find. Yeah.
So, well, and maybe I've been misinformed, but I've been told that we have to ask everyone coming in the door if they are represented, and if they're not, then they have to sign that unrepresented customer form at open houses.
Yeah. I don't know that to be true. In fact, uh, so then
Which is putting a damper on things, as you can imagine.
yeah, and so like you walk in and like, hey, you have to sign this or I have to kick you out. Like, I mean, I've heard of people like, they keep the door locked and then you have to like text them like, what's the password to get into the house? I'm like, guys, you have like the thing of this is like make things easier, not harder. So don't hit them with. Uh, I don't think that's legally required. So then I would just take that completely out. You welcome people in, you guide them around, make sure you don't miss the amazing view off the master bath or whatever. Give them something to like look forward to while they're touring around the house, and then they'll come back to you and they'll start talking to you. The unwrapped customer form, that sounds like a broker thing. I don't know anything about that. So if somebody does know something about
It's the newest form that just came out. It was one of the big changes. That's why I was asking about it. I wasn't sure if
yeah,
you knew about
no,
it.
yeah. But I mean, thank you for asking that question. I misunderstood it, and it gave me a good opportunity to talk about something that's really important. It's that it's like instead of trying to ram people into your database and get them in your car and get them to agree to work with you, you just want to educate them, just bits and pieces along, and you're gonna become so valuable and so trusted that they're gonna refer. If they even decide not to do something, they will refer business to you. All right, you just have to like come from that place of service, being a servant. And you got to put in the time. It doesn't just happen on Saturday morning. Yeah. So good question. Sorry I butchered it. Anything else? These are good questions. You didn't know you were going to get talked to about open houses today, did you? Not like this. So Sphere, get it organized. I can send you a little easy, I've sent it 13 times already in the last year, but I'll send it again. Just a really easy daily tracker for that. Open houses, be purposeful, intentional about it. Your marketing will evolve as you post more. Excuse me, as you post more. And and as it evolves, I can give you some hints and some tactics that are mastered by people like Jason Fladline, Alec Cheplack, John Cheplack, um, Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. I mean, these are the major players in the game. Alex Hormozy all use this same stuff. Okay. It's the thing that takes you from low six figures, mid six figures to seven figures. It's the thing that changes your business. You have to master the basics first. You have to master the foundation. And that is consistency and activity and intention about improving your skills. You do those things, guys, you're unstoppable. You'll be one of the 10 people that everybody wants to talk about when it comes to Austin real estate or Leander real estate or Cedar Park or Hayes or whatever. It doesn't matter. But you just have to do the work. And you don't even have to do it that long. Like we're talking about just a couple of years here. Sound good? I loved it. Thank you all for being here. Y'all are amazing. We covered a lot of ground in an hour and 15 minutes. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Happy to dive in on this stuff with you. Thank you.